Daredevil Born Again had a rough start, with Marvel scrapping its original pilot after filming 6 whole episodes. Despite challenges, including a reworked production and a brand new showrunner, the series brings Charlie Cox back as the classic and one and only Daredevil. After a troubled production, can it live up to the Netflix original? Expect reworks, delays, and major behind-the-scenes drama in this video. And please, whatever you do, don't comment the word red. Otherwise, I'll have to become a vigilante and I just don't have the money, you know? So, Daredevil's back, like right now, in a brand new series made by Disney Plus and Kevin Feige. And to be honest, the series looks like a very sloppy production, very similar to Captain America Brave New World and a lot of other current Marvel and Disney productions. That said, the new Disney Plus Daredevil series, Daredevil Born Again, does have some promising features. Charlie Cox is back as Daredevil. He's also now 10 years older, which means I'm also 10 years older. Great, now I'm sad. I want to explore the wild side of this specific Daredevil. Sorry, Matt Damon, we're going to have to skip the 2003 film. In 2013, 20th Century Fox lost the rights to Daredevil and all the characters associated with the Man in Red. Marvel Studios quickly picked him up and were actually in talks with Drew Goddard. They wanted him to make a Daredevil feature film. It was planned to be an R-rated movie, and this was at a time before Deadpool, so it would have been a really risky move on Disney's behalf. Unfortunately, Marvel didn't want to spend $200 million on a Daredevil movie. So instead of going big, they went small. It's kind of ironic that they didn't want to spend that much money on Daredevil originally, because I'm pretty sure with all the reshoots and the mismanagement of Daredevil Born Again, it's probably cost a lot of money. Let's actually look that up. It looks like the Hollywood Reporter is estimating that the budget, because of the production overhauls, is about $150 million. So I guess that's ironic. Maybe? I really need a burp. Long story short, Feige and his production team were told to focus on the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers when it came to big budget movies. I guess they were like ableist at the time, because nowadays Disney's all about diversity, and that would have been a really diverse thing to do back in 2015, have a blind superhero as a big feature film. The MCU decided to team up with ABC and Netflix, and they went on to make Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders, and The Punisher. Goddard was hired as the series' showrunner, but then he left to do a Sinister Six movie. Like, what? And that never came to be, so this guy kind of just got messed over by Disney and Marvel and that whole catastrophe that was Sony and whatever they were trying to do with Andrew Garfield. That said, he did write the first 2 episodes of Netflix's Daredevil. The Netflix series was inspired by Frank Miller's and John Romita Jr.'s 1993 to 1994 miniseries, Daredevil, the Man Without Fear. The team at Netflix wanted to dwell on Matt's relationship with his religion, and there's a lot of very interesting visual imagery with Daredevil and churches. He is one of the more iconic characters when it comes to religion in terms of superheroes. The French Connection was a big inspiration behind the film. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Dog Day Afternoon was also an inspiration, and so was Taxi Driver. The team at Marvel and Netflix really wanted to go down the same route as something like The Wire by HBO, something that was a little bit more darker and a little bit more adult. They didn't want the show to be glossy and shiny like the Avengers. The goal for the Netflix series came from Jeff Loeb, who said, "You can watch Daredevil Season 2 without having seen Daredevil Season 1. But if you watch each of them, it's like getting 2 different books. It's closer to the world of the graphic novel than it is to the world of the ongoing serialized show." Unfortunately, on November 29, 2018, when I had hair, Netflix cancelled the series after 3 seasons. There were pitches and ideas for a 4th season, but it was never meant to be. Well, until now. Charlie Cox, the one and only who plays Mr. Daredevil himself, was very saddened by the news. He said, and I quote, "It felt like we had a lot of stories to tell. The end. No more Daredevil." However, not long after, in 2020, Marvel and Sony were working on a small little indie budget film called Spider-Man No Way Home. Because of this, within the same year, Marvel's team, specifically Kevin Feige, reached out to Charlie Cox and asked him to reprise his role. And gosh darn it, he couldn't resist. So while Charlie Cox hung out with his old roommate Andrew Garfield on the set of No Way Home, Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Kingpin, the series' main villain from the Netflix show, reprised his role in another small budget Disney Plus Marvel series, Hawkeye, starring everyone's favorite character, Echo. There she is. The best. And don't worry, we'll get to Echo later, trust me. Blah blah blah. Disney made lots and lots of money, and they wanted Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio to come back in even more Disney productions. So what's next? In March 2022, a reboot series was announced by Feige and Chris Gary, who were both attached as producers. However, before they could get the Red Devil back on screens, they needed to change his clothes to green. That was a horrible segue. I'm talking about She-Hulk, alright? She-Hulk, attorney at law. I know, it feels like a fever dream, but this is an important part of the Daredevil mythos in terms of Disney, Netflix, and Marvel. And in my honest opinion, I believe that Tatiana Maslany was actually a really good choice for this show, but that's another video, and I don't want to get into it. Marvel decided to hire a showrunner who was responsible for a couple of episodes of Rick and Morty, because that would make a very good writer for a big, action-packed series. Apparently, Fleabag was a huge inspiration for She-Hulk. They were also inspired by Better Call Saul in terms of drama. To get people to watch the show, they put Daredevil in it, and they gave him a yellow suit. And yes, it's by far the best episode. If the whole show was this episode, but done 9 different times, it would have been a really decent show on Disney+, but unfortunately, they didn't do that. Instead of wearing the red costume like he did in the Netflix show, he had a yellow one, which was inspired by the character's debut in comics with Daredevil #1. Though this appearance was brief, all of this Daredevil stuff was just a big, big tease. And then he got teased again, because Marvel, they love playing with us. I haven't seen Echo, but yes, he was in one of the episodes very briefly. According to executive producer Richie Palmer, the team included Daredevil into the Echo series as they wanted the Echo series to feel a little bit bigger, that everything is connected within the MCU. Before Charlie Cox made the cameo in Echo, Jessica Jones was meant to come back and appear in the series as well, looking for Daredevil in the show. However, that never came to be. So we had Netflix, Spider-Man, She-Hulk, Echo, oh, and that animated Spider-Man show. Daredevil's also in that. But now it's time for the main event. Daredevil Born Again started development in 2022. Charlie Cox admitted that it wouldn't follow the Netflix series, but would be a reimagining, sort of like how Hulk from 2003 was reimagined in The Incredible Hulk from 2008. They both feel like sequels, but they also have a lot of differences, and that's what Disney wanted with the new adaptation of Daredevil. Michael Cuista had the dread of directing the pilot episode, and Disney were very ambitious, wanting to make 18 episodes for their streaming service, each around an hour long. The team filmed 6 episodes, coming to a halt in 2023 due to the writer's strike in Hollywood. The executive team at Marvel ended up reviewing all of the footage that was filmed within those 6 episodes. And that's when they were like, uh-oh, oh no, this is bad, red alarm, this isn't good, everyone's gonna hate us. They later publicly announced that the series wasn't working. Apparently from interviews, Charlie Cox didn't even wear the Daredevil costume until the 4th episode. Though Marvel wanted to keep some of the elements from the original 6 episodes that were filmed, the show received a ginormous overhaul. They dumped most of it and restarted, turning the show into 2 9-episode seasons. Season 1, which just came out, and Season 2, which is set for release in 2026. From my research, apparently a lot of people were very disappointed with the 6 original episodes, including the 2 main stars, Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox. It looks like the series was trying to do too much, but then it turns out it was all crumbling, kind of like a metaphor that I can't think of right now, but I will come up with one later. Dario Scardapane, who wrote Netflix's The Punisher, got hired as the new showrunner in October 2023. They also hired Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who were killing it with shows like Moon Knight and the 2nd season of Loki. They directed a bunch of the episodes for Daredevil Born Again. They also made an entirely new pilot episode, which is insane and would have cost a lot of money. The point of a pilot episode is to come up with a clear idea that is cohesive and interesting and won't waste money. But it seems that Disney and Marvel did it the other way around. They made a series which didn't work, so then they remade the show with a pilot that worked and then made the show again. A lot of the action from the original 6 episodes that were filmed was kept in the show and reworked to make sense within the new plot. I can imagine the writing of the show would have been really difficult because you have to incorporate different pieces from an original show and somehow incorporate them into a new show. It's like putting a puzzle together that's already half made. With the new direction, Marvel rehired a lot of people from the Netflix series, including Deborah Ann Wool, who played Karen Page, Eldon Henson, who played Foggy, John Bernthal, who played the Punisher, of course, and Wilson Bethel, who played Bullseye, and he was the best part of season 3. He was amazing, so I'm glad he's back. Daredevil Born Again's second season is planned to start filming on March 9th, 2025, a few days after season 1's premiere. And apparently right now the team is a well-oiled machine. The Newton brothers, who composed for X-Men 97, are also working on this series. And now it's out. What does everyone think of the new Daredevil? Is it good? Is it bad? Let me know in the comments. To me, it was a glorious piece of work that Netflix made, which then got knocked down, then rebuilt using water for some reason, and then the producers at Marvel were like, wait, we can't build stuff. So then they actually got brick and concrete and cement and started building a proper series, which was now the new series that has come out. This is a very convoluted show. Because so much was filmed, I can imagine that the budget has gone through the roof. But the trailer did look pretty cool, and I am eager to see the whole 9 episodes of season 1, and even season 2. Netflix and Marvel made something really special in 2015, and the 3rd season of the Netflix Daredevil series is some of the best TV ever made. Let's hope they can pull off the same miracle. If you'd like to watch the history of the Captain America films, I have that video. It'll be in the end segment, the outro. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. So, see ya.